Hello, Michael.
Hi there.
Are you aware of this 11-11 phenomenon?
To a small extent. I mean, you're talking about the numerology of it?
Yes, because I know that you were sort of schooled on numerology. So I was wondering if you'd experienced that or looked into that or you had a theory about that.
The 4, right, where the 4 numbers are the same, I think is very, very important because there are 4 of them now. And we know that 4 is the material plane. And so it's like whatever that number is, it's the energy of that number trying to manifest itself, you know, in your most personal life. So 4 ones, it would now be 4 ones. And that's huge. I mean, 4 ones is the cross, 4 ones is a mandala. You know, you can look at it from the Fibonacci point of view. You can look at it from, you know, there's a swastika, like that. You know, so or it can be again, perspectivism. You can think, what does it mean for me? Is it really the number 11 being dual, or hey, I'm into the tarot cards. What's the 11th card? You know, so or what's the 11th sign? So it's all about sort of again. These things present themselves. I think the basic answer to your question regarding all symbolism, including number, is my biggest statement now about all of these things is not to individually analyze each one, because that's an endless task and should be endless and goes on for the rest of your life. But I would always tell people, come into a personal relationship with it. Try to fall in love with these symbols, colors, shapes, geometrical, you know, solids, and the numbers as if they're as important to you as people. Because they are, and they're presenting themselves magically in front of you for a reason. They play with you. You know, 343, 318. One of my favorites is 711. I notice that all the time. It came up for me today, as a matter of fact. You know, what's this other classic number that turns up a lot? Well, look where we're heading. 1221. You know, this, or you know, December 12th, December 21st. So that, you know, these numbers. I think that, like your birthday number, you know, that's a good way to unpack the rest of your symbols. So there's an enormous symbolism in just your date of birth as we work on the mystery school we have and things like that. So again, I try not to go over analyzing it, but when these numbers appear and you suddenly start noticing your favorites, you know, you just develop a relationship with them. It's vitally important. The whole concept of even letters. The whole concept of 12 signs of the zodiac, to realize that those are teachers. The houses are like schoolrooms, and in each house you have Pluto and Mars. Those are the teachers. You know, you're going into those different sub-colleges to learn a lesson. And so when these things pass through your personal chart, and it really doesn't matter what kind of system of astrology you're using, they're all among the same thing, but they're all schoolrooms which we must pass through. And sometimes we take a long time to pass that grade, and some are much easier to pass. You know, the same with the numbers, same with the 26 letters of the alphabet. Each one has a multiplicity of meaning. And so it's for each person to sort of play with it on a daily basis, play with it in a casual way, but also you can get more serious into all the subject matter.
The number 11 has a meaning, though, in the numerology, because it jumps from 11 to 22, remember? Do you remember what that meaning was?
Yeah, the 11 and the 22 and the 33 are known as master vibrations or master energies. And they're just different octaves of the master. Like, for instance, the systems that I teach, on the number 11, physical material, the 11 is testing. Remember we said how it manifests on the physical level, and then you have to sort of, like the 1111 would be asking you to do something. When the number 11 appears in your life, it's probably a symbol, a sign that there's a testing going on, or that you will be tested, either this day or this week, or even for a longer period. It could be a whole quarter. When the number 22 appears, it's totally different. 22 is when you are sort of being cut loose, when there's a certain freedom in your life to act. And of course, there's a moral test. There's always a test in the master vibrations. The 11 is a much more strict test, though. You've got to be really, really fine-tuned in what you're doing. It's a moral test in a more traditional way that we understand morality, right? When the 22 falls, it's much more vague. You have a lot of freedom, but you also have the freedom to make colossal moral mistakes, okay? And then there's 33 as well, so there's another higher level, right? So to me, these numbers that you're talking about, 11, 22, 33, come with a moral test of a kind. And that can be pleasant and it can be good, because remember, if you pass the test, there's enormous gifts that then also come with that. If you pass your moral test, so if you do the right thing, and what is doing the right thing is more seeing the right thing, seeing a thing clearly, seeing a thing as it really is without your own distortions or the distortions of everyone else's little opinion and what have you. So if 1111 falls for you, appears, if 11 falls for you, you're being told, come to center now. Don't listen to what mother and father and the dog and brothers and sisters and the neighbor. Don't believe right now what's being told you by other people. That's just clouding the issue. Do you know what is happening? Are you seeing this matter clearly? And maybe just a glance at a watch. Now, you see, who knows all of this? The controllers. We don't have a clue. And that's why I go breathless telling people, can you just learn the basic numerology, the basic astrology? Because then, what I do in the mystery school, try to get you forward to that. So then what's the next step? One of the next steps is so now you can graduate to the occult astrology, the more sidereal, stellar stuff, that these controllers of, because, through the movies, as you've known from my work, and a lot of other people who are not doing that same kind of work. In the movies, just a guy glancing at his watch, a number in shadow, or, a number on a door has significance. 322, for instance, 23, all these numbers that keep appearing, because these guys know what they're doing. I can't even count the amount of movies which is so precise how they do this, whether it's James Bond or even something far more generic now. Now we know it's even in the commercials and rock videos ad infinitum, almost like they're playing with us. Like cat and mouse, they know we learn more, so they give more. They know we're up to speed more, so instead of backing off, what do? They throw it in our face even more. There's a game going on. They're acknowledging, yeah, we know you're getting smart. But where you would expect somebody to hide, a criminal, these guys are psychopaths. They don't act like other criminals. They go, hey, let's play with them more. Hit them with some more upside down crosses, pentagrams, and weird women with no heads. Let's see how they go with that. So, it's a cat and mouse game. It's actually quite fascinating in a way, in its own way. But then there's the more holistic side that we start to work with these numbers as personalities. To do that, there's a whole system of doing that. There's a whole system of doing that, which we get into in the mystery school. But this is vital. What you're talking about is the absolute goal of it all, is to learn the deep meaning of all these inanimate things. It's our real salvation. Why are there only, why are there 22 frets on a guitar? Why are there this many chords? Why is there that many 88 keys on a piano? Why? What about the symbolism? Why is it when you're born they're all dressed in white, and when you die they take you in a hearse all dressed in black? Is that just accident? No, there's a big ritual going on here. There's something strange. I keep talking to my mystery. Anybody who's taken my Taroscopic tour or that, been into that stuff, I talk about the magician with his 4 archetypes on the table, bringing them together to a 1. Look at Windows 7. Click your computer, turn on Windows 7, you see 4 colors moving like it's coming from outer space, and then merging into 1. Before that, they had the XP, an ancient symbol going back to Chi Rho. Not only the name of Christ, but of Bacchus and Dionysus and Atomism and God knows what. With the cross in the middle and the 4 colors representing Jung's 4 quadrants of the psyche. I mean, these people know stuff way, way ahead of us. We've got to catch up if we have a hope in hell of doing this. And we've got to crack it. They've been keeping these modalities themselves. Black and white checker floor, and all the other symbolism we know that they use and employ. So it's a constant unfolding of this. And the female Illuminati will be opening even more doors to what these guys are doing. I've been trying to do it in my own little primitive way since the beginning. And I don't believe it's for everyone. I really don't. I'm not. Maybe if you're talking to one of these other guys, they'd say, oh yeah, global awakening, everyone's going to get it. No, I never believed that. Never. I've been the only one who's told everyone that 2012 is not going to be about any awakening. I've said that from day one. I've made it very clear what I think it is. Now you're getting people jumping on the bandwagon because the date is coming and everyone knows that, okay, well, it might be another Y2K. And I've also said that don't be thinking in terms of, a sort of global awakening on a whole other level. I mean, you don't have to walk around every street in the mall to know that people couldn't care less. Try talking to anyone. You guys are great. You're here. You're the ones doing it. You are the ones doing it. You wouldn't be here if you weren't. But look at the rest of the world. Look at the rest of Toronto. They could care less. All right, they're completely absorbed, and that's okay. See, another thing is I'm not criticizing that. That's all right. That's the way it has to be, and we have to be all right with it. Because what happens if you're not all right with it? You're torn to pieces, right? Driving around being frustrated. Are you going to be like that? Fatalistic and pessimistic. Fatalism and pessimism, which I get on the emails all the time, people telling me what can we do, is born out of ignorance. I said in the final part of the post-humanism that evil can be crushed even in one generation. Well, a man who believes that evil can be completely cleared from the world relatively easily is obviously not going to be pessimistic. In general, I'm pessimistic about some things on a daily basis, but I'm not pessimistic about all of the larger issues because I know that that's ignorant. Because I know that I have solutions, I know that they can be applied, and if they are applied, remember that whole thing I did on children, and that they gain discernment, and that evil has within it the seeds of its own destruction, or the part that I said that evil has a flaw, which means it always has to disguise itself, the famous sheep in wolf's clothing. Well, listen, if I know all of that, and I know that that can be solved with a little bit of discernment in one generation, how can I be fatalistic or pessimistic, you see? Because I know that to be that way is to have lost sight of the fact, to be completely in the clouds thinking, oh, they've won, they've won. They've won nothing. As long as we take our innocence and our normal intelligence and upgrade it, with these great divination arts and some of the other symbolism, and it's not a lot of work, actually. It's not a lot. It's what it is really is disentangling ourselves from all the lies that have been spun around it by the religions and what have you, And don't forget that those religions are being updated as we speak. This Dalai Lama, everybody's going, hey Michael, what do you think of it? The Dalai Lama is one of the smartest guys on the planet. He's a crook. He wants your money. He's good for nothing like all those fakers. But he's one smart cookie because he's realized, look, they want illusion. So we're sitting on the one time from Tibet, we gave them one kind of illusion, the old school style. Ring a few bells, rub a few beads. That took care of those monkeys there. Now the monkey is grown up a bit. He's over in the West. He's watching TV. He's in a hyper-real state. So we need to update the lie, this mysteria we're breeding, for a hyper-real world. And he's successfully done it. He waves from Oprah's couch, shaking hands with Bono and all. They're the smartest guys on earth. They just know you want illusion. They know that most of the human race is completely needs a leader. Couldn't go 2 feet without a master, without some overlord, without some slave, feeling like a slave. We've only recently got away from kings, and we're not even happy with it. We want the king back. We want the king just says be obedient. And these Dalai Lamas, they say, oh, we just got to spring clean it. The old system is kind of lame. Let's modernize the bloody thing. Let's update it. It's exactly the same stuff. The evangelists are doing it. Half these crazy cults are doing it. Masonry's out there trying to give out leaflets to get people to join. None of this goes away. When one mysterium dies, we just create another one. So the job of people like ourselves is to continually be, separating, differentiating ourselves from that. And we easily do that when we have our own meditations and we have our own wisdom and we go mostly to ourselves. We don't discard other people, we don't freeze them out and we don't become neurotic, but we stay mostly enclosed in our own. We fill up our own reservoir and we don't necessarily depend on everyone else. This is absolutely crucial for the future.